35 thousandths. Right, wait, you didn't touch it. There you go. Why did you put the 0 there?
Because it's thousands.
It's in the hundreds. That's right. It's in the thousandths place, not the hundredths place. All right. Jordy, you come do. I received my whiteboard back in December, and we have done a lot of professional growth training with support staff and other members of my team who've also received a board. And then just recently received our ActiVote, so we're very excited to learn about those and how to include those in our classroom.
What has this meant for you and your students?
Oh, it's been the greatest because we have just used the board daily. My kids love it. It has enhanced our learning experience here at our school.
Give us an example of a lesson that you taught the old-fashioned way before you had the board and now with the board, and what the difference is.
Today, for example, we're studying decimals, and with decimals we used to have to bring out the base 10 blocks and the manipulatives, and today we didn't have to even bring those out. We could just use the board with flip charts and examples, and it worked perfectly.
Is it difficult to get the students involved?
No. They love it. They fight over it. They want to be the first to do it. Today we even had the debate of, did we all get a turn?
How does this translate into better learning for the students?
Oh, I think anytime you add technology to their learning experience, they are going to be more active learners, and that is the point of learning. You want them to be the learners, to be up there and to teach themselves.
What is that? Is that a dog? What is that?
I'm Miss Leonard. I teach 6th grade science at Calhoun Middle School. This year I received a grant of the Promethean board with an interactive whiteboard. It has meant a lot to our classroom this year. The children have very much enjoyed having it in the room, and I have as a tool for the kids to be interactive in the lesson, so they're not just sitting in their seats listening. They actually get to come to the board and interact, and I can see immediately if they're understanding and grasping the information that we're sharing with them. And the kids have thought it to be a fun thing, and you know, they don't see it as a learning opportunity. They think it's fun, but they're learning as they're interacting with the board.
What's today's lesson, and how has the whiteboard made a difference, maybe contrasted with the way it used to be?
All right, well, this week we are starting our Earth Day preparation, getting ready for this Friday, and the students are getting to see pictures on a large screen of what pollution actually does, and then they get to go to the board and interact and move the recycling so they can learn how to separate recycling. So they're getting to use the information and interact on the board so they can share it with each other, what they've learned, and share with me what their understanding. And in the past, they had to do it on pen or paper, or by, you know, me just calling them out in the classroom, a few kids at a time. And by using the board, I can get immediate feedback, and then they can learn from each other as well from me.
What kind of difference have you seen in the students' knowledge and maybe in test scores?
Well, they've wanted to participate more in the lessons, which has increased their test scores. We started back in January, and they have been doing better on the test at the end of each chapter. So I have seen an increase in scores, and they've even said my tests are getting easier when they haven't.
Our first one is Caddo. If you look on your map that you had and labeled Caddo, we're going to learn a little bit about Caddo right now. All right. Just one up. Cool. All right, look in here at Caddo. It's your far north, what direction?
My name is Kristen Norris. I teach at Calhoun Middle School, and that is in Calhoun, Louisiana. I teach Louisiana history to 8th grade social studies students, and I also teach 6th grade world history to 6th graders. The Promethean board has been amazing for my classes. My grades for my students have come up tremendously, and I accredit a lot of that to this board because they want to get involved and they want to do, and it brings a lot of more technology to me that I at first didn't have, and now I'm able to have that here right in the classroom.
Give me an example of a lesson that you're using today, and the difference between using the whiteboard and using before you had the whiteboard, and what the response was from the students.
Before, This, a lot of it was having to wait on whether or not the computer was going to work. I haven't had any problems with this whatsoever. The technology, you can even ask the students, going from the back of the classroom to look at one computer or one video screen to the front to look at something else. And it was a lot of going back and forth, and now their attention's focused in one area. Again, we are learning about the Louisiana parishes, and I'm able to not only just give them pictures of things that are in the parishes, but also attractions that they can go to with their families and visit.
What kind of results have you seen? What kind of response have you had from the students?
As soon as it came in, wanting to touch it, just wanting to get up and play with it. But like I spoke to Ms. Brenda about, my grades just have gone up tremendously, especially with my 8th graders. So that for me as a teacher, that was my major thing that I wanted to see, and it occurred. Before the Promethean board, they weren't as involved. They didn't do anything but sit at their desk unless we did group work. Now we're able to get up, and they're actually able to move around the classroom, which I know a lot of kids hate sitting at the desk. So this gives them interaction. They're able to do something as well.
And what kind of results have you seen from the students?
As far as them, they just seem to be more energetic and wanting to be in the classroom, and so that means a lot to me.
Is that translated into their test scores?
Definitely. My test grades, as I said, they have increased tremendously in every class that I've had by a certain percentage.
I'm Dr. Tracy Ellerman. I teach 8th grade math at Calhoun Middle School, and the Promethean board has been a fantastic asset to our classroom. It's allowed us to have visual input, it's more interactive, and it also allows the students the opportunity to graph equations, explore geometry, without having to be encumbered with doing paper and pencil.
What has it meant for the test scores?
Oh, I think it's been a positive factor on our test scores because students are more engaged in learning, they are more interested, and they're able to explore some things that we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have the Promethean board in the classroom. Geometric transformations, tessellations, that was one lesson. And of course, the graphing equations that we're working on now, the students are able to come up and immediately see results of it that they were not able to do before we had the Promethean board. So it's given us a whole interactive way of teaching math.
I'm in 8th grade, and I like it. It lets us interact, and everybody gets a chance to write on it, and it's fun and it's useful.
What was the difference before you had the board?
Like there wouldn't be enough space on the board to write, and so she'd always have to erase, and we wouldn't get to see it. And now you can just go to the next page, and it's easier.
I like the Promethean board because we can interact in class, and it's very useful. Like everybody gets to have a part in it, and like when we didn't have it, there wasn't much room on the board, and the Promethean board is more helpful now.
Has it made it easier for you to learn math?
Yes, because we get to use all the little icons and all the little attachments to you.
Math was a lot difficult for me before because I never was interested in it, and now it's made me a little bit more interested and more fun.
My name is Danae Delgado. I teach at Central Elementary in Calhoun, 4th grade. I'm one of the ELA teachers here. Very, very excited about this board. Technology is very important to me in my classroom and also to my students. They love the opportunity to get up and teach. One of the reasons that it's so special to me is because I think that they learn so much more if they teach themselves and they teach each other. So I just step back and let them do the teaching. And this board has given them that opportunity, so it's been just really awesome. They love it too. They like being the teacher.
What are you able to do now with the Promethean board that you could not do before?
Well, we don't sit in a textbook and write on paper all day, and they don't mind writing. They hated writing on the paper. Here they're like fighting for whose turn it is. I have to use my sticks and draw because otherwise they think I'm not being fair because they want their turn, you know. So I'm able to get them more involved in the learning. I'm definitely than I could with a textbook.
What kind of results have you seen with the tests?
Oh, well, they're rocking. They're absolutely doing great. I actually have a classroom that's going to qualify for what we call Renaissance reading. That's because they've scored so high in reading, and I've got kids reading on a 5th and 6th, 7th, 8th grade level just because they've gotten so excited about reading. So I'm really excited about it. I'm still learning a lot about the board. I'm still learning how to make my own flip charts, and also just got the active votes. I'm really excited about that. As a matter of fact, the kids were screaming. I'm pretty sure y'all heard me for miles. But we have to do training on that still. I've actually tried to play with it a little bit, but they're going to be offering us some training soon, so I'm really excited to get going with it.
I'm Carrie Stevens, and I'm a first grade teacher at Swartz Lower, and my class was able to get a Promethean board in December through a grant from Louisiana. And in our classroom, it is so much more interactive. They loved the big screen, the big board. They call it the Promethean board. And my kids' attention spans have been increased with the board. And they're so used to having electronics to play with at home, and DSIs and PSPs and Xboxes, that this is kind of like a learning tool that they are relating to now in this generation at school. So when they are learning with a Promethean board, they think they're just having fun when they don't know that they really are actually learning and having a good time.
Give us an example of a lesson that you taught the old-fashioned way and that you're teaching now with the Promethean board, and what the difference is.
Well, today we were talking about measurement and using paper clips and cubes to measure. Instead of me just having to be up there and measuring a book with paper clips, they actually got to come up to the board and maneuver paper clips onto the board to the big screen TV, or they call it the big screen TV, where the whole class can see. Instead of just me being up there and then watching me, they get to see it on a big screen.
What kind of a difference has this made in the students' learning?
Well, they're just more excited about learning, and the whole class, like I said, they can all see, so they're all interactive. They're just dying and just waiting with their eyes open to see if they get to be picked to come up to the board, and it's more learning being placed on them, and they're directing the instruction as far as, instead of me just being up there and being the sole one that's talking and being part of the learning process. They are actually the ones that are doing the whole learning process themselves.
As a principal of Calhoun Middle School, these Promethean boards have been extremely important to my teachers. Adds technology to it, which the students desperately need. It also increases their awareness of the world around them, opens up different avenues and things that they can use that wasn't there before. It's just been a great help to our teachers.
We meet after school and we just talk about, we go through the board, we pretend we're students, just like our students would be, and we explore different activities and different aspects that the board can offer our students.
And if you have questions or need help, how do you do that?
Oh, anyway, you can make phone calls, you can email, you can talk to the neighbor down the hall that also has a board. We talk about it all the time and troubleshoot with each other.
We've been very blessed to have training from the professionals that come in. They're able to teach us different ways to use the board, as well as we get to ask questions and then work with the group and bounce ideas off each other on different teachers on how the board can be used in different subject areas.
And is there a particular website that you can go to for more assistance?
There's a wonderful website called PrometheanPlanet.com, and you can go on there and search all different kinds of lessons by theme, by grade level, that have been provided through other teachers. So it's teachers sharing their great ideas with other teachers, which makes it a great jump-off store when you're just learning how to use the Promethean board. You can see what other teachers have used, and you can use their ideas as well as post your ideas on there as well.
What's the best thing about the whiteboard?
The best thing is that my students are involved in the lesson.
Our response from students is tremendous. Very excited. Kids came in really pumped up about what they wanted to do and to see actually what they could do themselves on the board, given the opportunity to do it.
The Promethean board has meant more excitement in learning as far as me as a teacher. It gets me excited for expanding my knowledge as in how I can reach these children on all these different levels, and it's reached them, been important to them because they are the ones that are involved in the learning.